YouTube? What is good? Yo, hey, hang on a second, this lighting is horrible. So today we are learning how to make the perfect photo set. Now I'm gonna talk about a bunch of examples of previous photo sets I made, kind of my logic, what I was thinking with those at the end of the episode. At the beginning of the episode, we're gonna get out and actually make a new set of photos. I like doing videos this way. I like actually going out and doing something rather than just sitting at the desk. So we're gonna do a mix of everything. I'm gonna teach you a little bit, we're gonna do a little bit, you're gonna see the whole thing. Let's go make some photos. So just in case you were wondering what my camera was propped up on, a dumpster. It's called dedication right there, that YouTube life, that vlog life. But here is why I love photo sets. Obviously, multiple photos can convey a message that one photo can't. When you make multiple pictures, you can really set a vibe, tell the story of what exactly was happening when you were making them, as opposed to just one photo that just does what one photo does, shows one thing. So I love photo sets. They do great on social media too, because I think everyone loves them. You can capture a real feeling with a set of photos. So while I drive to the location, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Squarespace. So the sponsor on today's video is Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com/EvanRamps to start your free trial today and use code EvanRamps to get 10% off your first purchase. Now, when I first built my Squarespace site 2 years ago, I built it primarily to sell prints, and I was blown away at how easy it was to use Squarespace to do this. I set up my site, I set up a channel that led to a shipping software. In the course of 2 days, I went from not being able to sell anything to being able to sell my work, sell merchandise, whatever I want to do, and you can do the same thing. If you want to use it as a portfolio or you want to make blog posts, that is so simple too. All you got to do is click, I think, 3 buttons, type in a caption, add a photo, bang. There you go, you have your post. It's really easy. That's what I love so much about Squarespace, especially compared to other website hosts that I've used in the past. I can run this site by myself. There's no headaches, it's easy, and with their customizable templates, you can build something beautiful and unique to you. I think the template that I used was Horizon, I believe is what it's called. But I love Squarespace. I've used them long before they were a sponsor on the channel, and I'm going to continue to use them to host my site, evanramps.com. So head over there if you want to see my favorite photo from today's video. And while you're looking around, remember, if you head to squarespace.com/EvanRamps, you can start a free trial and use code EvanRamps to get 10% off your first purchase when you decide to build your own photography website. So thank you guys for listening to this message. Back to the video. Yo, so this is completely improv. I was just parking the car and I noticed this crazy composition through the window. Check this out. You see that white circle right there? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post up in this spot, I'm gonna roll the window down, I'm gonna wait for someone to cross in front of that circle. So I'm gonna get the mirror framing the circle, which is gonna have a person in the center of it, or at least that's how I see it going down in my head. So I just burnt up a pretty good chunk of time trying to make that photo happen. We got some decent stuff. We had some subject walk into that frame. I got at least one that I know will work, but what is it about photography that as soon as I decide to move on, put my car key in the ignition, I look in the rearview mirror and the perfect subject walked through our frame. Someone really tall and lanky in a black suit with a briefcase. It would have been perfect, but it's kind of the name of the game when it comes to street photography, and that's part of the reason I enjoy this so much. So I've been walking around a little bit trying to get the ideas flowing. One thing I've been trying to do with my street photography as of late and implement into my street photography game, is that an expression? You know how people say like their short game in golf or their jiu-jitsu game? Is street photography game a thing? I'm coining that lingo. Anyways though, what I'm trying to incorporate is a little bit more patience. So if I find some lighting or a composition or just anything that I like that photo earlier with the circle in the mirror, I've been trying to stay at those locations a little bit longer and take some time to wait for the proper subject to enter the photo. It's kind of annoying, you know, you don't want to sit around and wait forever, especially if it doesn't work out, but I think the success rate will be higher and I'll get better photos if I start doing this. But as for today's photo set, one thing that I like to do is when I get one photo, when I get a baseline, something to start with, I look at elements of that photo and try to find other photos that have similar qualities. So that first photo, we have a circle. So we can look for other shapes today, we can look for other circles, we can look for other mirrors, things that are similar to that photo to give us a second image that kind of lines up with that one. Or we can look for other photos that feature a figure or a character or a person in our shot, a silhouette, something like that. Those are just some things that we can look for. A lot of times with these photo sets, I start with one image, then I build off of that, but a lot of times I put them together when I get home. Sometimes they come together when I'm out shooting. It just all depends. So right now, we're gonna use that as our base and try to build off that. So the irony of me just talking about slowing down is the fact that the photo I really wanted to make today, the one that I just tried to make, required me to work really fast. You see that bridge right behind me? That bridge is shaped like a triangle. So I thought, all right, it worked out perfect that we got that photo with the circle, a shape. Now we can do a triangle. I got a person walking through that bridge. So now that's 2 photos incorporating shapes and figures. So I think we're off to a really good start. The only problem, I had to rush in there. I couldn't stay as long as I wanted because of security, but it is what it is. At least we got something to work with. That's gonna be my contingency plan on the day. It's not my favorite, but it might work out. So what we're gonna do for the rest of the video, we're gonna walk around this block right here. I really like this building. I like this atrium. I like all the lines, all the architecture, and I think it will be a good way to wrap out this photo set. And for whatever reason, there was a bunch of smoke over here. It's kind of going away, but we might incorporate that too. We'll see. RIP to another one. Just putting my bag on, drop my lens, this happened. That is now the 3rd time I have dropped the Sigma 35 1.4. This thing is a tank, no issues with it. I am kind of bummed I have to buy a new polarizer though. So let's talk about everything from last night. I wanted to have a photo set of 4 photos as an example for this video. Unfortunately, we ended up with two photos that worked well together, and they are these 2 images right here. Now these 2 photos, what they have in common is framing. So my favorite on the day, hands down, is this one of the SunTrust building where we have the silhouette of the rail leading us into this crazy like upside down roller coaster, which leads us into our subject. Absolutely love this composition. It's kind of perfect. Don't want to brag about myself, but this one is it. I love everything about this. The one thing I wish would have gone different, I wish the subject was closer to the camera. Unfortunately, I stood there maybe 35 minutes. I took a long time waiting here, and this was the only person that crossed in front of my camera inside this composition. So it's the best I could do. I do still really like it. This second one came out pretty good. I like the subject crossing through the photo. I wish our subject was a little bit shorter so they would take up that entire circle, but this one is not bad either. Both utilize frame, and that is why they would work well together. Now the edits on these 2, they're okay together. They're not perfect. The lighting conditions were different. If you notice in the video, it started raining on our way to the location, and then that cleared up and it got very sunny and nice. So there's a little discrepancy on the edit here. So I would rank this out of 5. I'd rank this photo set a 2, but I'd rank the photo from the SunTrust building, I'd rank that a 4, maybe a 4.5. Really like that. So this right here is a better example of 2 photos that pair up together and the edit pairs nicely. These were made on the same day in Tennessee. They both utilize shadows, and together the colors complement one another. This is something I like to look for when I'm creating a set of images, whether it's 4 or 2 photos. Right here, everything works well. We have the red image, we have the blue image. They both have characteristics that are similar, and then they come together very nicely. You see, the thing with photo sets, I can't exactly teach you how to make one perfectly. It's something you have to look at for yourself and figure out. But what I can tell you is it's just as much a creative expression as making the photos themselves. This right here is an example of a rainy day where I went out to shoot for probably about 2 hours. All these photos pair up together super nice because of the color palette. Now, not all of these photos really have anything in common as far as the subjects go, but one thing that I tried to do with this photo set, the first image is more of a detail, I don't know, artsy type photo. It's upside down, we got this sign right here. There's a lot more detail in that image, so you might have to stare at that a little longer. This second photo is a more wide open atmosphere shot. I did this on purpose, trying to kind of set the scene, paint a picture of where we are, and also paint a picture of the conditions. As you can see, we have the puddles on the ground, everything like that. The third photo well, this is the hitter of the set. These are these people crossing in front of the streetcar. It really sets a mood, kind of gives you some motion and feeling of what's going on in the day. And then this last image right here caveats off that other image, but it captures it in a completely different way. We have these bars in the way. We have our subject blurry looking at the camera. It pairs up nicely, but in a completely different way than the third photo in the set. And I really like that one. This right here is another example of everything coming together in a photo set to really tell a story. We started with this umbrella photo. That was the first image I had in the set, and then I built this set around it. So the first photo is this umbrella image. Our second image is this atmosphere photo. This is Atlanta. It's crazy rainstorm coming in. This photo is intended to show you, hey, we got a big storm coming in. This is the mood for the day. Now, the third photo in the set, I didn't want it to have any similarities to the other two photos in the set, but I wanted it to still show you that it's raining, give you a feeling. So because our first photo had a person in it, our third photo also has a person in it, but it's captured in a completely different way. We have the rainy windshield with some bokeh in the background. It's very nice, and it also adds some splash of color into this photo set, because without it, the set itself would be a little bit bland and not super interesting. And then we wrap out the set with our fourth image, which is another umbrella photo to kind of tie everything back together with the first one. Now this right here is an example of a more basic photo set. This is in my office when I first set up this new setup we got right now. Basically what I did here is I tried to get 2 detail shots and 2 atmosphere vibe shots. That's one super easy trick you can use on photo sets, is you can get 2 photos that are more detail oriented and 2 photos that are more wide open scene oriented. Now this is an example of color photo set. Now all these images were made on the same day, but the idea with this set was all the colors in each image vibe and match up together. So when you look at it, you get overwhelmed by whatever's happening. It doesn't have to be fall colors if you were to do something like this for yourself. It can literally be anything that you see on the street. It can be photos captured on different days, but the main point here is the color palette. This next set utilizes color just like that last one, but it utilizes it in a different way. See, all these photos were captured at night. That's one element that ties them all in together. Then they all utilize this orange and blue color palette. That's why I selected them. I went through images that I edited a while back and said, okay, all these match up real nice. I wasn't even planning this, but all these images kind of tell a story together. They're all night, they're all kind of rainy, they're all very moody. But you gotta remember too, you don't have to overcomplicate this. You don't have to overthink it. This right here is just a photo set of my dog Dax. He's chilling. We went out to shoot one day. I have 2 more just general candid photos, one of him and Katie running, one of him laying on the ground being crazy, and then we have 2 photos that were made in the exact same location, paired up on opposite ends of the set, one with him smiling at me, one with him smiling away from the camera, and that's as simple as that. You can make these things as complicated or as not complicated as you want, but like I said, it's really up to you on how you want to express yourself. My biggest piece of advice would be just look for commonalities in the photos you're making if you're out shooting one day and you have a bunch of selects you come home with, or if you shoot for a month and you kind of keep the same editing style and you start realizing, oh, there's some patterns forming here. You can create a set of images that stand out so much more than just one photo by itself. Highly recommend you do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I can't give you a definite answer on how exactly to make a set of photos, but I hope you get the idea. Just go out, have some fun, look for some things that tie all your images together and create a story with your photos. Y'all are the truth. I really appreciate you watching today. If you enjoyed the video today, hit that thumbs up button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button for more, and I will catch y'all next time.